So you've got all these amazing ideas, right? But at some point, that pure creativity has to face the music. It has to meet cold, hard logic. And that moment? Well, that's exactly what we're exploring today. We're diving deep into step 6, the analysis of ideas, from the incredible problem-solving framework developed by Dr. Kwasi Osafo-Mpadu. This is where the real work begins, where we figure out which ideas have what it takes to succeed. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to get the big picture with Dr. Ampadu's universal process. Then we'll quickly recap how we got here to step 6. We'll define what analysis really means in this context, see it in action, and talk about the incredible power of the iterative loop. And finally, we'll see how all this sets us up perfectly for the next step. I want you to picture this. You've just finished this amazing brainstorming session. The energy is high, the whiteboard is covered in genius solutions. It's awesome. But then things get quiet, and you're left looking at all this potential, thinking, now what? How do we actually turn this creative chaos into a single, concrete plan? Which one of these ideas is really the one? And that is exactly the challenge that Dr. Kwasi Osafo-Ampadu's framework was designed to solve. What he did, which was brilliant, was take the traditional engineering design process and completely transform it. He turned it into a universal roadmap for innovation that literally anyone in any field can use. I mean, just look at the sheer scope of this thing. This 10-step process isn't just for building bridges or writing code. Dr. Ampadu made it for every field of human endeavor. We're talking from archaeology all the way to zoology. It gives you a clear, structured way to take something that's just an idea and make it real. All right, so to really get why step 6 is such a big deal, we need to remember the journey we've taken to get here. You don't just jump into analysis. You have to earn it by building a solid foundation first. And we've put in that work, right? In this series, we've already walked through Dr. Ampadu's crucial first 5 steps. We identified the problem, did our research, stated our goal, defined what success looks like with performance specs, and then we let the creativity flow with ideation. Now, with all that groundwork in place, we've finally arrived at our destination, the all-important 6th step, the analysis of ideas. So, what do we actually mean by analysis here? This is so important. It's not about just picking your favorite idea or the one that feels right. No, it's a way more rigorous and objective process than that. You see, the key phrase here is structured problem. By the time we get to step 6, our initial, maybe kind of fuzzy problem isn't fuzzy anymore. Because of those first 5 steps, we have clear goals and specs. And it's only now that we can really apply some sophisticated techniques to see how these ideas would actually hold up in the real world. This diagram really captures the essence of step 6. You can see the flow. Your structured problem goes into a sophisticated analysis. But here's the really cool part, and I want you to pay close attention to this. See that loop on the left? What happens if that analysis finds a problem? Well, that's where the true genius of this step kicks in. Now, when Dr. Ampadu says sophisticated analysis, he doesn't just mean one thing. The beauty of this step is that it changes and adapts to whatever field you're working in. That's a huge part of what makes this whole process so powerful and, well, universal. And this just shows you how flexible it is. You know, for an engineer, sure, the analysis might be pages of complex calculations. For a scientist, it could be digging into the fundamental physics or chemistry. But for a sociologist, it could be a deep socioeconomic analysis. The specific tool changes, but the principle, that rigorous evidence-based evaluation, that stays exactly the same. Okay, now we're getting to what might be one of the single most important ideas in Dr. Ampadu's entire framework. The path from a good idea to a great result is almost never, ever a straight line. You have to be willing to embrace iteration. This quote right here, this is everything. It's the soul of the process. Analysis isn't a final exam where you get a pass or a fail. It's more like a diagnostic tool. Its job is to find the weak spots in your ideas before they become big, expensive problems. Finding a flaw isn't a failure, it's actually a huge success for the process. And this is what that looks like in the real world. If your analysis shows a major flaw, you don't just give up. The process tells you to loop back. Maybe you need to go back to step 2 and do more research. Maybe you have to go all the way back to step 1 and realize you were solving the wrong problem. This feedback loop is the secret sauce that makes the final result so strong. So what's the end game here? Why are we putting every idea through this intense stress test? It's because this tough analysis is the only way to get ready for what's coming next. The process is crystal clear on this point. You absolutely cannot move on to step 7, the selection of the best idea, until you've done the hard work here in step 6. This analysis gives you the data, the evidence, and the clarity you need to make a smart, informed decision, not just a wild guess based on a gut feeling. And when you look at Dr. Impadu's full map of the design process, you can see it plain as day. The logic is undeniable. Analysis of ideas flows right into selection of best idea. There are no shortcuts. It's a system designed to guarantee that the idea you finally commit to has been properly vetted and has the best possible chance of success. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. Think about your own projects, your own brilliant ideas that you're working on. Are they really ready for this kind of scrutiny? Which of them would not just survive, but actually come out stronger after going through the tough, rigorous process of step 6?